Hi guys, and welcome back to Archie Hamilton Racing, and welcome to what is going to be a totally epic video ahead. One of, in my opinion, the best to hit my channel. You join me where I'm in a bit of a random location, but for good reason. Today is that I have a massive opportunity to be driving one of the best sounding, best looking, most successful racing cars ever. This is an Aston Martin DBR9 GT1 car. This car was a Le Mans winner, etc. Has so much history, and my friend Nick Leventus, he gave me a ring a couple of weeks ago. You might have known Nick. We did the F50 video, we've done more videos as well, and he said I have the opportunity to do this, get a full-blown Aston Martin DBR9 GT1 race car and drive it flat out. And I know a lot of you guys like the racing content, and Nick, he's a Le Mans winner himself. He's won Le Mans twice, and how many times you won Le Mans? Twice. And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun today. Here is the car, but first let me bring in Nick. Come on, Nick. Welcome back.
Hi guys.
Le Mans winner. He won Le Mans. I didn't win Le Mans. I crashed.
You nearly did, didn't you?
Never. It was a good stint. There was a few good stints.
You look cool at the parade. That's all.
Yeah, basically Nick thinks all I did was turned up to do the autocross session and went home, which is fairly true. But today, like you say, GT1 Aston. You raced this at Le Mans.
First time I did Le Mans was in this car, mega car. Obviously we were a privateer racing the factories. The factory cars were untouchable. It was very cool to be even on the same grid as them, really. So yeah.
He said earlier, he's like, this is the car I first did Le Mans. I was like, casual. So here we go, Aston Martin DBR9 GT1 car, May.
So this is chassis 4.
Yeah.
Of, I believe, 13, 14, roughly. Obviously the most successful cars on this GT1 era were the factory Aston Martin cars. Won twice at Le Mans. I believe Darren Turner, David Brabham and Antonio Garcia 1 year. And Ricardo Riddell joined Brabham and Garcia. The
big names, basically.
Big names, yeah, and when we ran this car, I had the privilege of working with some of those boys and learning from them, and you know, it was great. It was a magical era. I still think the GT1 era back in that time was, well, every racing cycle has special eras, but the GT1 for sure was mega cool.
I mean, that is the coolest car in my opinion. I think one of the best looking cars ever, isn't it? And the sound, wait till we get this thing fired up, because it is seriously loud. I mean, even it's the rear wing and things like that, the massive rear diffuser you have and everything else. Has carbon brakes, another thing.
Carbon brakes, yeah. V12 obviously screaming, sounds mega. It was a phenomenal car to drive and watch. So.
Oh, and racing through the night at, let's say, 200 miles an hour, in that V12 screaming. This was the era when cars were just, well, even better than they are now. Do you know how to get in, mate? Right, in we get.
Like a glove.
Yes, there we go. Look, it's still got your name on it, which means you're properly a racing driver. And BRDC badge is not on there.
Huh?
You weren't a BRDC member at this point. But
just edit that out.
Yeah. Right, come on, Nick. Show us inside the GT1 car, all the mods and everything else.
So yeah, looking at this now, it looks really dated actually, versus some of the new GT3 stuff that we race.
I don't think it's that dated. I think there's enough buttons in there.
No, there is a lot of buttons. PC, power steering, 8 different maps. One of the things I remember about this car was all the lift pumps have to be up and on. These are all your lights, fans. Used to get pretty hot in here. Air conditioning, made it mandatory to run an air conditioning. And the cockpit temperature had to be an ambient of, I can't remember the exact, I think it was like 55. But we all turned them off because you got an extra 5 brake horsepower back in the day. So.
Yeah, I mean that's probably not allowed, but we'll go with it. But even here on the wheel, you got the radio, you got your flash.
Flash, obviously very crucial in Le Mans, especially when you're behind people like you. Central shift used to be quite tiring actually.
So that is the gear shift right there.
The gear shift, yeah. I mean, it's sort of DTM-ish back in the day, but I mean it's a lot easier to drive cars now with paddle shifts and everything. But this was mega. One
of the first days me and Nick met, I was actually on track in one of these, and you were
weren't you? And I was like, wow.
And I did a cool wheel spin. And I thought it was really cool, but I was not very fast. Flipping out! Look and listen to that. Bring the car up. We are driving that today. Can you believe it? Myself and Nick are going to be taking out this. The coolest car in the world. Listen. V12, it's screaming. Just imagine that down flat out at Le Mans. It's going to do a couple more runs, come back, and I'm going to get a chance to drive it. Oh my.
That's so much fun.
Yeah, how good's that? It sounds ridiculous. I mean, it's another level, isn't it?
It's warmed up a bit now, so you can have a bit of fun. The first couple of times it was a bit, car's a bit cold. Now it's got a little bit of traction.
Just a little bit. So I've had to just run and get my helmet because Nick's just said, do you want to jump in? Do you want to drive it? Up and down the airfield. Such a cool car. To get back in a Le Mans car is such a cool opportunity just to drive it and experience it. We're going to do it right now. I just tried to get my helmet and I was buzzing. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's enjoy it and just hear the noise, because the noise is where it's just even better. And I'm just going to try and document this as best as I can. So let's jump in the DVR9 and go flat.
Are you ready to go right now, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so heater, that's high pressure pumps just turned on there. So whenever you're ready,
just press start.
Yeah, and
pressure pumps
don't
are on
until we give you a shout.
We'll build up the revs. And then you're on the brakes. Isn't that just music to your flipping ears? A massive flip on the downshift. I'm using my left foot to brake because I feel this is quicker. And when you go up the gears, if you don't keep the throttle flat, it will just, it won't go up the gears. We'll go traction control 1, now watch. Better than this, let me tell you that much. There isn't much better than this. And racing this at Le Mans at 200 miles an hour, I've raced LMP2 at Le Mans at 200 miles an hour, but something about this is a different ballgame. You're getting through the middle of the line, you're doing 200 miles an hour. You're overtaking cars everywhere. You've got 250,000 people watching you, and you're there racing, and it makes me emotional because this is what I do, this is what I've done for so many years, and I'm finally back. speedometer as well in just a second so you can see that, but honestly, pit limiter, and then you can see that will keep the speed constant to 60 kilometers an hour, and then you meet all your pit crew. And then you just park the car, and then you turn the engine off just here. So you literally just go down here, ignition, then you turn it back on, the ignition's back on, and that's how you turn the car off.
Angry, isn't it?
Angry. It's just another ball game, that. I've just jumped out of the DBR9 GT1. I've never driven anything like it in my life. Well, I have. I've done Le Mans, I've done all sorts of things like that, but there's something about that. We put a mic in me, so hopefully that we got some sort of what I was up to in there, because it's just amazing. The way the car upshifts, wah, bah, bah. You got to really pull the gear lever to. There's a lot of thought going into it. You have to keep your foot flat and then just pull it. But it's a smile that it brings to me, because that's what I did. LMP2, GT2. I've driven a GT1 car before, and honestly, there's something about a V12 like the DBR9. Because let's be honest, have you ever witnessed anything sound as good as that? It's I don't think I have. I think it's the best sounding car ever. What an experience that was to drive it up and down the airfield, and it's such an iconic car. Isn't that just an amazingly good looking car? And these, if you're wondering how much they are, they're well over £1 million. They're not cheap at all. If you're looking at a Le Mans winner, it's 3-4 million, I believe. They're worth a lot of money. They're valuable assets. They really are. They're collector's items. But what's amazing is with these guys that are racing these cars, they're racing them in different championships, classic championships, all sorts. So they're getting a chance to really use these cars and race them, which is not cheap. You need a full team of people to run it. You need to preheat the engine before you start it. You can't just start one of these cars up from scratch. There's a lot that goes into this, not just oh, let's just fire it up. There's a lot more to it than that. One cool bit of information you might not know, so these three lights, you're probably thinking, what the hell are they? When you race at Le Mans, if you it basically will tell the people who are watching the race what position you're in if you're top 3 in class. If you're top 3 in class, so these glow at night, you'll have 3 on. If you're 2, you'd have 2 on. If you're 1, you have 1 on. So that's what these lights are, if you're wondering about that. Fuel, everything, but that is quite a cool feature when you are racing at night or watching a Le Mans race. You can tell what position these cars are in as they're flying past at 200 miles an hour in the middle of the night. We've done it. It's mental. It's mega, isn't it? It is stupidly cool. I mean, the fact you raced out Le Mans, I just wish that's what I raced. They are unbelievable.
Really cool car. A GT1 is missed for sure. They do run them in the Master Series, and
yeah,
obviously these, the Corvettes, the Ferraris, such a cool era of motorsport. And
it's a shame it's all changing. Like, obviously got this electric racing stuff, but we're going to miss stuff like that.
We will, purely for the noise more than anything else. But yeah, mega fun to drive, mega fun to watch. You can't go wrong with it.
You're going to drive it on the road, or?
I think so. I'm going to drive it home now.
That's why we're not sure he's joking. But yeah, you've got loads of stuff coming up. Straka, that's all. Yeah, you know, you guys are racing around the world.
We are Straka Racing, running GT3 Mercedes. Very happy with that relationship.
Yeah.
So yeah, been lovely to have seen a Mercedes AMG GT1, but unfortunately there wasn't.
If you're out and about at a racetrack, you will see this racing once again.
Sure, absolutely. I hope they are. They're so great. There's a few other chassis as well out racing in the Masters Historic Series, and yeah, mega fun.
This is a collector's item, isn't it?
I think it is now, yeah. Any car with history. Obviously it didn't have a... This car actually won the LMS round in...
Oh, it has won a race?
Has won a race.
Oh, you didn't tell me that?
Yeah, I forgot. You know, keep
He is very humble, this man. 2-time Le Mans winner, he is humble. We were actually going to go to Silverstone tomorrow.
We were.
In this.
I know, and the noise limit, what was it, 105?
105.
Yeah, this comes in about 118, I think, so.
But basically 120 flyby. Yeah. So it's just, that's just how it runs. It's not silenced or anything.
You're not cold?
No, I am cold, Nick, but we're not going to say that. We're currently running the video, but we'll leave that there, and I hope you have enjoyed the footage. Honestly, it's music to our ears. That honestly is. And hopefully, do you want to let me race it?
Stop.
No, race it, race it.
Well, I watched your Formula Jag race in Paris. And after that, I think it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
I like what you did there, and I'm sure they're all in agreement. But we'll leave it there. Check out Nick Leventis on Instagram. Go and give him a follow. You're doing mad stuff. He jumps out of planes backwards and all sorts, and yeah, he's doing lots of cool stuff. And also Straka Racing. Make sure you check out them. We'll leave it there. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, guys. Well, I think we'll do one last burnout, shall we?
Go on.
Yeah. Yeah.